we are discussing a real story today that startled a whole country. This is the tale of eminent Indian businessman Bhaskar Shetty, who vanished from his house in Udupi, Karnataka, on July 28, 2016. No regular man was Bhaskar Shetty. Among the richest people in Udupi, he has started prosperous companies in Saudi Arabia and Dubai. Along with a hotel in his hometown, Udupi, called Durga International Hotel, he also owned a chain of stores in Dubai. The footage and material used in this video are non-copyrighted. I can't use the real, original footage because it's copyrighted, and that could lead to copyright issues. That's why I use non-copyrighted material in my videos to avoid any problems. If you're really interested, you can search for it on Google. You'll find the same stories and information that I share in my videos. Following his hotel visit, Bhaskar returned to his house on July 28, 2016, at about 3 p.m. At home were his son Navneet and his wife Rajeshwari. Bhaskar disappeared shortly after soaking in a bath. What happened next was unthinkable for anyone. Examining the life of Bhaskar Shetty will help us to appreciate the scope of this treachery. Though from a modest background, he dreamed big. At an early age, he traveled to Dubai in pursuit of possibilities. Through hard work and persistence, Bhaskar developed a thriving commercial empire, eventually owning 7 huge stores. His life changed dramatically. He had wealth, success, and a lovely family. He married Rajeshwari, and together they produced a son named Navneet. Bhaskar had everything a man could dream of: money, a thriving empire, and a loving family. Or so it appeared. After years of building his fortune overseas, Bhaskar chose to return to India and settle down in Udupi. He had worked hard for decades and wanted to enjoy his remaining years in solitude. But back home, a storm was brewing. Bhaskar and his family were connected to an astrologer named Niranjan Bhat. Bhaskar strongly admired him and often sought his opinion before making crucial business decisions. But in 2016, Bhaskar uncovered a tragic truth: his wife, Rajeshwari, was having an affair with this very astrologer. Heartbroken and outraged, Bhaskar moved out of his residence and began residing at his hotel. He reduced his visits to his home, simply coming by once a day. What he didn't realize, however, was that his own son, Navneet, had also turned against him. Rajeshwari feared that after finding out about her romance, Bhaskar would not leave her a piece of his property. Navneet, too, was terrified he may be cut off from the inheritance. And so, together with Niranjan Bhat, they began to plot something awful. On July 28, 2016, Bhaskar arrived home like normal. His wife, son, and the astrologer were already there. After taking a bath, Bhaskar was ambushed. They shot pepper spray in his eyes, then Rajeshwari whacked him in the head with a rod. Once he was down, they put insecticide into his mouth, bound his hands and legs, and drowned him in a bathtub. Yes, Bhaskar Shetty was killed in cold blood by the very people he trusted the most, his wife and son. The 3 of them brought his lifeless body to Niranjan Bhat's house. There, using ghee and fuel, they burned his body in an homa kunda, a sacrificial fire pit used in religious rites. They tossed his ashes and bones into the adjacent Palli river, aiming to destroy all proof of the crime. Bhaskar's abduction prompted instant worry, especially with his mother, Gulabi Shetty. She reported him missing the next day, stating her son called her every day and it was unlike him to vanish without communication. She also informed police that she feared her daughter-in-law might be involved, as she was aware of the strain in the marriage. Initially, police suspected it might be a kidnapping. But there were no ransom demands. As they went deeper, they started investigating the family. Rajeshwari, when questioned, tried to deflect attention by accusing Bhaskar of having an affair. But her tale didn't stand up. Phone records told the real story. Police uncovered a suspected 1 crore rupees transaction from Navneet to a buddy. That led them to unearth the entire scheme. It became out that Navneet had bribed this guy to participate in the murder of his own father, using money that came from Bhaskar himself. Rajeshwari and Navneet were detained. So was Niranjan Bhat, the astrologer. Shockingly, it was then found that Navneet didn't even know about his mother's involvement with Niranjan. He was persuaded by his mother into believing that his father would disown him. That's what motivated him to take part in the murder. Further investigations implicated several persons, including Niranjan's father and his driver, who helped destroy the evidence. On August 10, 2016, police uncovered Bhaskar Shetty's remains in the Palli River. A 1,300-page charge sheet was submitted, setting out the sickening facts of the crime. In 2021, justice was finally served. The court condemned Rajeshwari, her son Navneet, and astrologer Niranjan Bhatt to life imprisonment. A son, a wife, and a trusted family advisor had betrayed and brutally murdered the same father who gave them everything. This terrible tragedy shocked the entire country, a brutal reminder that sometimes, the people closest to you can become your worst adversaries.